Hello,
Hello.
hello.
Hi. I love that music. I was just like
Right?
sitting here doing a little wiggle in my chair.
I'm always jamming to it every time I put it on.
I love it.
Oh, hello, everyone. Good day, good day, good day. And welcome to Soul Chat conversations that ignite and inspire your heart and your soul. And today I have a special guest for you. I always do. I have amazing guests who come in because, the Soul Chat is all about me bringing through people who deeply inspire me and move me to my core. And it's a way for me to introduce my special people to you so that you can also meet, you know, people who are incredible and get to know them and connect with them, yes, that's the whole plan of it. So today I have Dallisa Hocking. And hello, Mama. And I
I'm
love
just
this
happy we're
woman.
alive. I'm happy
Yes.
we're here. We get to show up. We get to talk to each other and whomever is joining us today. We get to be here. So I'm
Yes.
just thrilled. Thanks for having me.
Oh my God. Thank you for joining me. The Lisa sent me an email back and she invited me to be part of her summit. And I was like, I looked at her picture. And I was like, huh, okay. So I was like, yes. And we got on the connection call. I was like, oh, I love you.
I love you. I love you. Oh my goodness.
I was like,
Yeah.
I love your energy. She was on point. The passion behind the summit that is coming up. I mean, everything. I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. And I want to get to know this woman. I want this woman to be in my circle. Like it just everything. So, let's start out with this for people who don't know you. Let's start out with who are you and what is your service in the world?
Yeah, I mean, I never thought I would be a psychic medium. And it's naive for me to say that looking in hindsight, right? I look now and I'm like, of course I was supposed to be a psychic medium. Like, took me a minute to catch on. I'm fifth generation. So my grandmother, her grandmother, it's on my dad's side of the family. And my grandmother and I were incredibly close. She would tell me about her predictions. She would call it her ESP. She'd call me Lisi, I'm getting ESP. And I'd sit there in the living room like, what's grandma going to say?
Oh.
And she would see full body apparitions walk through her house. Her grandmother, as she would tell it to me, would see full body apparitions, on the farm. I was intrigued by all of it. And I'm often asked, like, oh, when did you start, knowing you were psychic? When did you start? And I look back and I'm like, I was more intrigued. I was very curious. I'm a Sagittarius sun, Gemini ascendant, Pisces moon in the 10th house. So it's like I said, like looking back, okay, or looking at my astrology chart, I have Neptune conjunct the sun natally in my chart. So yeah, this is what I was born to do. But I was more curious. And then 7 years ago, my whole world changed overnight. And it's not an exaggeration. I was on a completely different trajectory. I owned a dating and matchmaking company. I had a full-time job at a university in Texas. Like, I was doing my own thing, but I had gone to New York to attend a workshop on the study and the science behind synchronicity and how everything happens for a reason. So I flew up to New York kind of last minute at the Omega Institute. I was like, I'm going to go to this. It was being led by Dr. Eben Alexander, who wrote a book about his near-death experience. And I've studied a lot about near-death experiences.
Yeah.
So on that trip is when everything changed. And literally every facet of my life. And I'll just tell you briefly what happened. If you have any other questions about it, I'm happy to talk about it. But on the last night of my trip, I was staying at a friend's house, and I knew him from a work project in Las Vegas. I used to be an executive on the Strip in Las Vegas. And he gets a phone call while I'm at his house at the end of my workshop as I'm concluding the trip. And he is informed that his aunt died unexpectedly. She had fallen down a flight of stairs, and they were calling in that moment to let him know while I was sitting there. And, I give him my condolences. I go to the guest bedroom. He goes upstairs, and I have chills even as I say this. I didn't really think anything of it. Yeah, sure, I just came out of this synchronicity workshop, that family history, but I didn't think any more of it. I didn't know his family like that. I didn't know anybody in his family. And I go to bed that night, and wouldn't you know, his aunt, who just died hours before, came to me, and I could see her. And she said, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to tell my nephew I'm okay. I made it to the other side. And I have chills coming in through my whole body. And I woke up the next morning in that area between asleep and awake, and you're kind of coming to, and I realized what happened to me last night. And I could still see her in my mind's eye. So I go into the kitchen. I'm like, so I got a message for you last night, and I tell my friend, and he's half intrigued and half skeptical.
Yes.
And he says, really? Well, what did she look like? And I realized this was my very first test, but I describe her facial features, the way that her hair fell. And one of the strangest, most beautiful pieces of the story is fly back to Texas that day after I deliver the message. My mind is going a million miles an hour. A couple days later, I go and have lunch with a friend in Fort Worth, Texas. And I'm telling her this whole story. And I look at my phone, and I see that my friend in New York had sent me a picture, and it was of his aunt. Her memorial service was that day that I was having lunch with my friend. And I dropped my phone and literally started crying in the restaurant, because the image he sent me on my phone was exactly as she looked a couple of nights before when she came through. So that's how it all started. I know that's a long-winded answer.
No, that was perfect.
Started. I was a hospitality executive, worked at a business school. I have an event planning background. This was not what I thought I would be doing, yet it is exactly what I was meant to do.
Yes, I can totally see it. I love that you already, it's, the generational gift. So you had your grandma, who was there, and you got exposed to it, or you got to see the gift in action, but you were more of the observer at that time, right? You're like, there's something fascinating about this, right? But I love that you had your grandmother to kind of help you ground it, so that when it reactivated again, it wasn't as shocking as someone who's never been exposed to it. Yeah, that is incredible.
Yeah, I want to tell you a quick little story.
Please do.
Just as we were talking about my grandmother, I don't remember my exact age, but I feel like I was probably 12 to 14 years old, just to kind of give your audience an idea. And I was in her living room one day, and she says to me, Lisi, you're going to be famous one day, and you're going to need a stage name. I thought, a stage name? I'm going to be an actress. This is going to be so much fun, because I was that kid that was always in dance class.
Yes.
And in drama club, and, I was always in plays and stuff. So I thought, I'm going to be a famous actress or something, right? Or a dancer. And she's like, I can't quite put my finger on it, but she's like, let's practice you creating a stage name. And she helped me. She's like, I think you should call yourself Dallisa Del Rey, and let's practice you giving autographs. I was like, this is so weird. So all these years later, she's passed a few years now, but I was offered an opportunity to headline my own stage show in Las Vegas, and I was doing 4 shows a week. It was right before the pandemic, so unfortunately, all the entertainment got shut down, right? So, but I designed the stage to look like my grandmother's living room.
Oh my God.
And when I created the production company, because I produced, directed everything the show, I named the production company Delray Productions after my grandmother and her prediction about like being kind of more in the spotlight. So who knows what's still yet to unfold with that.
Oh yeah.
But it is pretty funny.
Oh yeah, I love that. And I mean, it's already happening for you. You've had many opportunities that in the spotlight, and you continue to be in the spotlight. Like, tell me more. I know you've been like what was that? There was a program, or not a program, like, was it a program or a show that you were doing, like psychic? Was it something like that?
I've done so many reality TV
Yeah.
at this point that, I kind of lose track. I think if I sat down and listed them all out, I don't know if some of them would be ones I'd necessarily like brag about, but yeah. I was even on a few when I was working in the hospitality industry. And then I remember I did one with Kelly Pickler, who was on American Idol. She had a show. I love Kelly Pickler on CMT. That was when I was a matchmaker. And I filmed an episode with her. I hosted a singles event in Nashville for her show. I've been on Gene Simmons' Family Jewels. It was on A&E. I think my crowning moment, though, if you remember Total Request Live with Carson Daly.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
There were a couple episodes where I was a backup dancer on those.
No way.
Yeah, it sounds more glamorous than it was. We filmed it in Las Vegas, and it was like on somebody's track where they were racing dirt bikes. So I was like on this plot of land that was all like dust and dirt, like trying to act like a backup dancer in the TRL. So I've got all kinds of stories. I feel like I've lived 5 lifetimes already in I feel like it's a short amount of time I've been here. But I just stay open to it. And yeah, I was in partnership with the hotel that I had my show at in Las Vegas, and media would show up and I'd take them through. The hotel part of it was built in the 1930s.
Yeah.
It was very, very haunted. So I would take these media crews through there, and we'd stand in the middle of a room and I'd start picking up the energies that were in the room. That was surreal. And I know some of them still live on YouTube that people can look those up, but spirits that were kind of in limbo or stuck or attached energetically to these spaces. And I remember, moving some to the light, even as we had like a news crew there, and you could feel the energy in the room shift. So I'm as curious as the next person. Even when I have a client and something comes through, I'm like, this is amazing.
I love it.
Why not?
I love it so much. So, and before we go into the summit, the upcoming summit, I wanted to, ask you this, because I know there's going to be viewers who are also mediums as well, or, they know they have that mediumship gift, but maybe there's that anxiety around it, right? Because it's like you're seeing something it's not always nice. For you, how was that like? Like, was there anxiousness? Was there fear? How has that been like?
It's such a great question, Abigail, because my grandmother, as I mentioned, used to see them in full body form.
Yeah.
She would see what clothes they had on. She could make out like what they look like from her physical eyes. And I remember at her house, I'm like, oh, like I want to hear what happened last night, who walked through, but then I don't want to see it. So what's so fascinating is I see it through my third eye, not my physical eyes.
Yeah.
So, and I get like waves of chills even as I say this, because they're honoring that I don't really want to see it with my physical eyes, but they still want to be able to bring the messages through. So I see it more as a projection, what I would equate to something looking like in regards to a daydream. Like I just kind of like look off and see what shows up like in the screen in front of me. And that feels to me that I don't know if it's like a safer distance, but I feel perhaps a little bit more from an arm's length or a bit more detached from the energy coming forward, so that I can look at it, read it, talk about it, channel it, but I'm not caught up in feeling
Yes.
like it's on me or in my house or anything like that.
Yes.
Because after my sessions, I don't remember most of what is said. And by the time I go to bed that night, I'd say 98, 99% of it's gone. Because I
Ah,
just look at it and read it and I let it go.
yes.
I feel good about how that comes through rather than being like, oh, Bob's over here in the doorway, like.
And I love that. I love your process because I don't know how many people I've talked to and it stays with them for a while because it's so unnerving sometimes, and it happens when you least expect it. You're in the grocery store trying to get something and it's like, oh yeah, you do me a favor, right? For me, it's kind of like yours. I see it through my mind's eye, but my mediumship gift was the most active when I was younger. So this was like back home. It was probably up until we moved to Colorado. So I was probably 15. That's when it stopped. But I hated Fridays because every Friday night, here I am walking around the entire community, helping people cross over. And I mean, Friday hits and my energy, like I go into a little bit of panic because it wasn't always, I mean, I was young, like it wasn't always pleasant. And the best, now that I look at it, I was like, I'm so glad that I had my angel guides with me. Like Archangel Michael, he's always been with me. He never left my side, and now I get it. He's like, you're not going there by yourself. So I was very blessed in that way. But the moment I moved and came to the US, it stopped. And even now, like it's like I can observe it, but I don't, it's like it's not my purpose anymore. Like I can see it, I can see the beings, but it's like, I don't have to do anything. If it is with a client, like I'll get a message, I'll channel it through. But again, it's very detached compared to what it was when I was younger, where I was like, oh my God, I hate Fridays. I don't want to go to sleep. I know what I'm going to experience, But the most amazing experience was with my auntie, my favorite auntie. And I mean, if she was still alive, she would have been here in the US with us. She was very special to me. She really saw me. And the night that she died, I remember, like I was sleeping and in my dream, it was always in my dream. Like I always worked through it in my dreams. And she came and I could hear her high heels on the concrete. And I was like, oh, you're home. And she's like, it's time for me to go. And I was like, what do you mean by go? You just got here. She's like, I need to leave, but I want you to know that you're going to be okay. And I remember I was like, please don't leave me. I mean, the whole, at the end, she's like walking away and disappearing. I kept saying, please don't leave me. Please don't leave me. And I woke up in the morning, I'm walking around, getting ready for school. I'm like, please let her be okay. Please let her be okay. And then within minutes, I hear my mom coming from the gate and just crying. I was like, no, she left. No, like it's so vivid. Yeah, I told my mom about that. And she's like, wait, you really did? I was like, yes, I did. And that was like, it was incredible. I got to say goodbye to her where a lot of people didn't. And the way she came through, like, I'm glad she did because it would have been way more painful because she was my anchor. The most recent one was with my grandmother, and that was also cool. But I've also, it's like my mom has this gift, but she would not call it mediumship because of religion. My grandma has the gift. It's the same thing. So because of religion, they call it different things. And when I share my experience, it's always like, you sure? Like, you don't even go to church. How do you have that gift kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
It's so fascinating.
Yeah, it really is. I appreciate when we can get information. It's a gift. And I feel like, especially now and for the years that are going to be unfolding in front of us, this is going to become even more important, whether it's for us to navigate, our own pathway forward or to help others to maybe step into spirituality or step into their higher calling, whatever that is. So it feels, and it doesn't, I'm not saying this from an egotistical point of view, but I do feel like those of us that have, and I think anybody can massage it and grow it and build it. So it's not that it's you and I are the only ones, that are special. Anybody can do it. But I do think that this gift and this ability is going to be critical in these next few years here on Earth. So I'm curious, we have the summit where we're going to be talking about all the predictions and stuff, but I tend personally to get a lot of crime premonitions. And I've had 3 very, very big, profound experiences when I was in a physical location where one, there was an altercation with a gun, one where there was somebody breaking in, and one with a bank robbery. And I was physically in these 3 locations right before they happened.
Wow.
And got the downloads and everything. So but this gift is going to become incredibly critical to where we're headed.
Yes. So, okay, we could talk like,
I know.
It always happens like that, but let's go into the summit. So how did that inspiration come through? I'm curious.
Yeah, I like predictions. I love astrology. I really appreciate healers. I've kind of seen over the years, I went into this business very naive. And I thought, if somebody is a healer, they're a good person, they're helping everybody. And I'm like, I've learned over the years, like, not to say it's good, bad, any of that, but it's being really strategic about who I have in my spiritual community and really aligning myself with individuals that I feel really are bringing a high frequency and align with where we're going and what we're going to need. So I was inspired to create the Planets and Prediction Summit because I feel like what's about to happen on Earth is going to be like nothing we've ever seen and really can't even get our arms around. So I thought, well, what if I pull together really great, amazing spiritual practitioners and ask them, what do you think for the rest of this year? What do you think for next year? Can you help us sort through the energy? Can you help us to activate and expand our own heart, our own way of being in the world? So there's over 25 speakers. You're one of them, thankfully. And each brings a slightly different take on what's unfolding, what's to come, and how we can thrive in the energy. So it's really a labor of love, this summit. It's free. It's completely free for somebody to sign up. And my goal is to help people. And not from like we're all victims. Like, it's like, no, I want to help you because you can get through this and actually thrive. And you can feel empowered. So I want to give people knowledge, some clarity, but also help them feel like, wow, I've got a front row seat for something that's incredibly amazing that's unfolding right now. So that's the purpose of it.
And the lineup is incredible. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. Now, I wanted to ask, do you also have a spotlight in there? Like, you do some predictions? Because I want to hear it.
I am going to save them, but I think for the very end of the summit.
Okay.
Yeah, I've kind of played around with it because I get a lot of downloads, and even this morning I was going through a bunch of questions that my Spark Plug members submitted and just kind of looking at the midterm elections for November that are coming up, that there's some weird energy in October and November. And
oh God.
But I feel like a broken record, Abigail, because it's like, it's going to be weird. And I'm like, every day is weird.
It's weird.
So I don't know if that's like new and like groundbreaking. It's going to be weird, folks. But no, I do like taking a look at everything unfolding. My thought is I'll probably do something at the end to say, all right, here's what I'm feeling. But I might have to do it like on Zoom or something because I've been flagged. Sometimes when I say too much that doesn't necessarily align with what people want to hear.
Yeah.
And with my Sag, Gemini, Pisces, I'm like, listen, this is what I'm seeing. And so, I don't know. Some people think it's great, and some people go, what did she just say? So probably at the end, I'll do something.
Beautiful. I hope you do it on Zoom. Yeah.
I probably will.
Yeah. Yeah. And that way, I mean, either way, you will have the replay. But no, I'm excited. I'm excited to hear from you too. I was like, she better do a presentation too. Like, I want to hear from you.
Yeah, I probably will. I've got it on my calendar, so it's kind of etched in already. So I'm good. I want to, make sure all the speakers have their spotlight, but yeah, I'll probably put a little bow at the end.
Good. I'll be looking forward to that. So tell us, who's this summit for?
Oh gosh, anybody who is interested in energy work, energy healing, expansiveness, somebody who is curious about astrology, planetary transit. What is astrology saying, that's going to unfold and happen? So astrology is a big theme, why it's called planets and predictions. We've got folks like yourself that are doing just remarkable energy work during the speaker profile. And anybody that feels like they're asking themselves questions like, why am I here? What am I supposed to do? How can I help? Those are big questions, because I do feel like the vibration of being a humanitarian is going to come in bigger ways than we've probably seen it recently.
Mm-hmm.
Where I think, regardless of where you live, what town you're in, what state you're in, you're going to be asked to show up for the people around you. And so I hope this summit inspires people to start to consider, like, what am I bringing? What am I bringing? Yeah. Hello.
He snuck in here.
What's your name?
What's your name? Xavier.
I forget my name sometimes.
I know, right?
I always have to look at my calendar because I'm like, is it September? What year are we in? Like, I don't know.
I know, because you don't live in just this dimension on this time, right?
Yeah.
There's so many other, oh my gosh. So, okay, beautiful. So Planets and Predictions Summit have to be there. Lineup is incredible. Amazing women in this summit. And it's
gentlemen.
Oh, yes, that's true.
Yeah, I think we have five. I think 5.
No way. How did I miss them? Oh my gosh, I have to go back and look.
Oh my gosh, yeah. There's the speakers. We've got some folks that have been in astrology for decades, multiple decades. Oh yeah. I mean, I could say incredible things about each and every one of them. So when they sign up, again, it's totally free. They'll start getting, starting on the 19th, they will get the daily emails and it'll say, here's a speaker for today, but they have to just register to make sure that they're getting those alerts. Otherwise, they can't see the videos.
Yes. Yes. So the link is below, September 19th through the 30th. Click on the link. Again, all of this is free. And trust me, you want to tune into this to get ready for 2023. Or even like ending this year, going into 2023. Like it is, I'm so freaking excited. And I'm one of the presenters, but I'm excited to receive also from these amazing experts in their field. Like it's mind blowing. So find the link below. Don't even overthink it. Make it easy. Click on it.
Seriously, like 10 seconds to sign up. It's not anything complicated. My suggestion would be grab a journal and a pen.
Yes.
Because as you go through each day of the speakers, because it's the 19th or the 30th when it actually runs, you've got to register by the 17th of September. But I would grab paper and pen and write down, as you listen to each person, write down what sticks out to you. What are the questions that they're answering or asking of you? I think by the end of this summit, there's so much rich content that you could come out of that summit and start October 1st feeling like, whoa.
Yes.
I feel empowered and jazzed about the future. So I would get a journal and a pen. That would be my suggestion.
I love that. And that I love how like having it September 19th through the 30th. It's like a perfect position to have this summit, because you step into October, the month of magic, where everything is amping up. We move into November, we have the 11/11 portal, December 12/12, and it's like, okay, I'm ready for 2023. It's like we're preparing you for that big, massive energy that we're about to enter. And it's not just 2023, it's like 10 years of big, massive energy, transformative energy. So anything that can come in to prepare us as a whole is godsend. It's a gift. So you guys find that link, register before September 17th. Be there. I will see you there. Okay.
Yes. I'm excited. It's going to be amazing. So thanks for being part of it. Yeah.
It will, because you're amazing. You brought us all together. Yes.
Thank you. It's fun.
Yeah. Thank you for inviting me to be part of this amazing deliciousness. Yes. I'm so excited. Yeah.
And I don't want to spoil what you're doing, but I'll just say, anybody that signs up for the summit and you see Abigail's speaker profile that day, click on that video. It's probably going to be one of those that you're going to want to listen to or watch a few times, because it still sticks with me what is activated in that expansiveness. I don't want to give it away. But it's amazing.
It was really cool. I was even like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. Yeah. All right, my love. Oh my gosh, we could talk for days. Like, so family right here. Thank you so much for creating this magic and helping all of us to harness the gift of this year, next year, and also to open us up for all of that deliciousness that's coming through, that wants to come through to support us. Thank you for receiving the inspiration and actually creating it, and also bringing the community together. Thank you so much for what you do and shining your light.
Amen. Yes. Amen. We'll do another collaboration too.
Yes, let's do it. I love you.
Absolutely. Thanks, Abigail.
You're welcome. Everyone, thank you for joining us. And until next time, bye.
Bye.